Hey guys, welcome back. After giving it some thought, I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and delete the second video. It has some incorrect information in there, and I don't want you guys to get it wrong. I'm going to leave up the first video as that's how most people found their way to the tips and tricks video, but I will add disclaimers to watch the second video, which will be this video instead of the second video I uploaded. And I'm going to try and have it not be crazy long, so let's get into it. All right, first up, we're going to pull up our Lightmatica. We're going to go to load schematic, and he has different schematics available on his Discord. I will link those for a download, but for now I'm going to hit the version 2 max 2-dimension, hit load schematic, and as you can see in this schematic, he has the outline for the chunk alignment and sub chunk alignment. So let's hit F3 plus G to pull up our chunk borders, and let's align this. This is going to be a 16 by 16 for the chunk borders. So you're going to want to align this glass perfectly within the chunk border, which I'm going to do now, but I still personally find my way of doing it just faster and easier. I don't know, maybe I just got bad eyes, but say it just lines up. And just like I told you in the first video, it was correct. This will be one outside, and these ones will be one outside. That's how you align it within the chunk and the sub chunk. He has signs on his now that tell you where things need to go, but this needs to be on 111, like I said. So I'm just going to go down to 111 like that, and then just bring the schematic down to me. All right, there we go. So that's going to be on 111 while I'm standing here. If you guys are building in survival or on a server, just pillar up until you reach this point, and then just place the schematic on you. That's how you line it properly. I'm going to grab my stick, and since I'm in creative, I can just go ahead and paste it into the world like this. Now we can go ahead and clear out the schematic, turn off our chunk borders, and then we'll start from the bottom and work our way up on explaining everything. All right, starting from the bottom, this is your AFK area. This is where you're going to attack the armor stand to kill the mobs. As you can see on here, aim at the armor stand, stand and hold, and use the bottle to drink. Attack the armor stand for 20 ticks, which is 1 second. And it says drink ominous bottles level 2 to level 4. Don't use level 5 or level 1. So you're not going to drink the bottle here and then walk up to the stand. You're going to stand here and hold right mouse button, and that's going to time out your bottles perfectly for when you drink them. Up here to the left, behind the piston, this is your on-off switch for the farm. If the farm ever breaks and the pistons are stuck and not moving properly, just turn it off and back on again, and then it'll start moving. It's good practice to turn the farm off before you leave the area. This tower here is a bubble column, and it functions using a magma block and a soul sand, and these pistons switch it back and forth. That's what sends the signal up the towers, which is received up here, controlling all your villager stations. Not much to see up here. I already showed you how to do the boats and the other one, so we're going to keep it short and sweet. Next thing we're going to talk about is setting up your Nether Portal side properly. So as you can see in his schematic, just like I said, facing east, I did the same thing. You're going to stand on top of this yellow glass here, and you're going to mark down your coordinates. So when you're standing on top of this block right here, on top of the portal, this is going to be where you're going to write down your coordinates and divide them by 8. And that'll correspond to where you're going to build the portal on the other side. So you're going to use X, Y, and Z and your Y. As you can see, my Y is 148. So you're going to build, when you're standing on top of your portal, when you build it another side, or when you bring your schematic, you want to be staying on 148 as well. So it's going to just depend on where your height is inside your world. So if yours is something different, make sure you build your portal at whatever Y level you are at, standing on top of this block. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick and figure out where my coordinates are for the other side, and we'll be right back. All right, I got my coordinates. So what you're going to do is either go through the portal, or you can just build another Nether portal somewhere close by, like over there, that's going to be far enough away to not interfere. Then you're going to take the coordinates that you got go through your portal, break the portal you came through, get up on another roof. I'm assuming you already are up on another roof if you're building this farm. Then what you're going to do is go to the coordinates that you wrote down. So in my case, my Z is minus 61. So I'm going to go to minus 61, which will be this block here. And then my Z is negative 468. So we're going to find 468, which is going to be right here. So now I'm at negative 61 and negative 468. We're going to pillar up to 148, which was what my Y level was in the overworld. And now we're just going to pull up the Nether schematic. And all we're going to do is shift that. And you can see this side has corresponding yellow glass on top of this portal. So this is the portal that's going to correspond with the yellow glass in the overworld, which means you're going to put that piece, that block right there, where I pillared up to. So we're just going to move that over right there. Break that. Now we can go ahead and paste this into the world. Now we can remove. Now when I go through this portal, I should be brought to the chamber with the water, which I am. We'll put our blocks back, and that means that it is now properly lined within the overworld and the Nether. And that's really all there is to it. So hopefully that was short, sweet, to the point. I still want to give a shout out at the end of this video to Sheriff332, just like I did in the original second video that's going to be gone. I figured it'd just be easier to get rid of that video and not have any erroneous information out there and give you exactly the information you need to know. All right, as you can see, farm is working. Everything's working like it should be. It's all good. One thing you can do is if you have villagers or pillagers that are getting stuck, just remove the glass block that's next to the powdered snow block, and that should fix that. A lot of people were having issues on servers, and you could build this thing completely right and still have the raid not work. I've experienced it myself while trying to help someone on a server fix their farm, and everything was built properly, everything linked properly, but the villagers were not picking up their job. And I don't know if that has to do with server latency or server settings or spigot or fabric or whatever, what have you, paper. But what you can do is, as you see, I've built a short repeater delay into every villager station. And the max you can do is 3 repeaters set to max delay. Anything more than that, and the farm stops working. What that does is that gives your villager a little extra time to try and pick up that job. So if you watch when it switches, the block stays down a lot longer. That could fix it for you. It's no guarantee. It's worth a try though. Just figured I'd throw that on at the end. Show that even with that delay, the farm still functions. Anything more than the delay you see here, it will not function. So I'll show you real quick how to do this. Okay, everything is back to the way it was. So I'm going to show you how to do it. You're just going to get rid of this redstone, the torch. You can get rid of that piece of glass. You're going to take an observer facing into the glass block below the workstation. You could leave the glass or replace it with a solid block, doesn't matter. Then you're going to come out 1 from the back, 1 forward, 1 over, and then 1 forward again. And you're going to set up a redstone line. Come around. Count out 3 for our 3 repeaters we need. Then 1 more for our turn. So it's going to be redstone. You're going to have to put a block on the bottom of that piston. And you're going to have a repeater going into it, redstone, and then you're just going to work your way back to the end like this. And then just bring your redstone dust around. Set all these to 4 ticks. And anything you do here has to be replicated on every station. They have to be in sync. So if you set these to 2 ticks, you need them all to be 2 ticks. 3, all 3. So you get the idea. But as you've seen with 4 ticks, it's still not a lot of time, but it might give you a little bit of extra time that your villager needs to actually pick up the job. Alright, so this is going to be the last video I make on this farm. I pretty much have covered everything I can cover. I'll still answer your questions, but if it's server related, I mean, there's really not much I can do with that. It's just too many variables. I'm going to get back to focusing on actually building my world that I just started. So yeah, I'm out.